Recording here. So, for those that don't really know who Kathi is, I know she participates a lot more in the Team Drop the Cookie page, but Kathi is one of my coaches, my personally sponsored coaches, and she's coming up on a year this Thursday in her business, which is super exciting. And so Kathi is one of those people that actually took a while for me to convince to start this business, and I'll let her share her story, but just to kind of give you a little introduction. You know, she had a lot of questions getting into this business and a lot of concerns and not really knowing if this was something that she could see herself doing. So it took her a few months to get started, and then she really just ran with this business and honestly is creating something amazing for her and her family. She's on her way of making 6 figures in less than a year. She's now a 7-star qualifying diamond. I think most of you on the call know what that means. So she's really rocking the business, and I wanted her to jump on this call to tell her story and inspire you guys. You know, maybe things that you could be doing differently or things you maybe haven't thought of that she's doing. Anything new that you can maybe incorporate into your business to see the success that she's seeing. So thank you so much, Kathi, for being on the call, and I'm excited to see what you have to say.
That's awesome. Thanks for having me here. I was excited. I wanted to speak to you guys, and I just like to talk to people and kind of give some inspiration to people who, you know, are newer, or just if you're anywhere at some point in your business and just need, you know, extra tips or advice or just extra motivation. So I'll just start off a little bit and just telling you about myself and how I got started, and then I'll kind of go into, you know, how I was able to kind of move so fast, and some advice and tips and stuff like that I have. So I have 2 little kids at home. I have Landon. He just turned 3 last weekend, actually. And my daughter, Kirsten, is 17 months. And before I did Beachbody, I was a stay-at-home mom with them now. But before this, I was a teacher for 8 years with my master's in special education. And I was teaching in a school district that was, you know, paying pretty good, you know, for a teacher salary at that point, at least $10,000 more than, you know, a lot of my other friends and who taught in the surrounding towns. So before I had Landon, you know, Nick and I always knew that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom with him. And when we had kids, you know, I was brought up that way. He was raised that way. And it's not for everyone, and that's fine. But for me, that was something that was like a non-negotiable for Nick and I, is that I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So I get pregnant with Landon, and, you know, I'm about ready to have him, and I turn in my papers for teaching, which was a little nerve-wracking just because it's not easy to get a teaching job these days. And all the testing and all that stuff, you have to go through all the schooling. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm giving that all up now, but I did it. We knew that things were going to be tight, you know, financially wise. You know, Nick has a really good job. He has a 6-figure income and everything, but still we knew with my big pay cut, you know, I was making $65,000 a year doing teaching at that point. So we knew that that was going to be, you know, a struggle for us, but we were willing to do extra things to kind of make it work. So I had Landon, I stayed at home with him, and just things started to get honestly so tight money-wise, crazy tight, and it was really stressful. So Nick was kind of like, he's like the man of many talents. He just started doing all this extra stuff to just try to make extra money to kind of make ends meet. So he was doing website developments. He was running his skiing forum that he has. He was doing photography and videography on the side. And time's going on now, and it was just we were just getting further and further into debt, really, as it was happening. Like, we were not making enough money. It was so stressful. I ended up taking up tutoring, you know what I mean, like 4 nights a week to try to make some extra money just to help offset the bills. And I got to a point where Nick was like, you know, it's just not enough. It doesn't matter what we're doing. Like, we are really screwing ourselves over here. Right at that time, Landon had just turned 10 months old, and then I found out that I was pregnant with Kirsten. And we were really excited to have another baby because we do want to have a big family if, you know, if everything goes as planned and as we hope to go. But we were also really stressed out about it because I at that point now was on Nick's health insurance plan, which was horrible. And we knew that when we had Kirsten, we were going to have to pay like over $6,000 out of our pocket to have the baby. And we did not have that money. So stressful. So fast forward now to, like, time goes on. I have Kirsten, and she's like 4 months old. And by now we are totally, like, we literally were living like in 2 years of just like complete financial like denial, like heads in the sand. Not really like Nick's head in the sand too much. It was mostly me. Like, Nick would totally come out and say to me over and over again, Kathi, like, we're in so much trouble. You're going to have to go back to teaching. And I'm like, psh, Nick, we're fine. Like, you're going to get a raise or you're going to get a bonus. Like, always like looking for something else, which never happened. And so finally she was 4 months old, and that's when Nick was like, this is it. Like, you're going to have to start looking for a teaching job. And it was right around that time, actually, where that's where I, ended up going out and, going on a double date with Heather and Matt, and met Heather for the first time, which was like, thank God. It was like such a blessing. It's so weird how things happen at like the right time in your life. And, that's when she kind of told me about the coaching opportunity. At the time, I had just been doing T25. And Nick and I had done P90X like 6 years ago. We were actually in an infomercial and all that. And we loved the program. We were pretty much like a walking infomercial for Beachbody at the time because we loved P90X. Hadn't stepped foot in a gym in like over 6 years now. And she told me all about the opportunity, and it really sounded interesting to me, and it sounded like something that I would really like to be a part of. But then, I went home and I talked it over with Nick, and he is like, if you ever meet him, like, you will know, he is the biggest, like, skeptic, thick-headed German guy you will ever meet. He, thought that he knew better than anybody when it came to this business. He has an MBA in entrepreneurship, and he said everything under the sun that you can imagine about Beachbody as a business. It's a scam. It's a, pyramid scheme. You're not going to make money. You have to pay money. This is ridiculous. Like, so I didn't sign up right away because he kind of pretty much talked me out of it. And I pretty much just believed him because I was thinking, well, what the heck do I know? I mean, I was just a first grade teacher. I mean, I'm thinking he knows what he's talking about. He's, has all these degrees and he's run businesses before. What the heck do I know? So I kind of dragged my feet for like a good 3 months. And finally, it got to the point where our financial situation was horrible. And it was that in combination with actually seeing Heather's videos and stuff from Summit last year at Las Vegas, that I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I want to be part of that. It looks so much fun. Like, I kind of always had a feeling that I would really enjoy doing this, but I was just really nervous to jump into it. I was really worried I was going to lose money. We didn't have money to lose. We were in such a bad situation. So Nick and I sat down one night and he said, you know what, just give it a try. If you don't make your money back in the first month, like, you're going to have to quit. Like, bottom line, we don't have money to go out for Shakeology or whatnot. So that was it. So I signed up, and it'll be a year actually this Thursday, June 25th. And I can't believe it's been a year. It's gone so fast. It's crazy. And I signed up, and I was like, I didn't even know what the heck to do. And I just really did not have time to waste, to be honest, because first of all, I had to prove Nick wrong because he did not think I was going to do well with this at all. He thought I was going to lose money, and it just wasn't going to work out. So I had to prove him wrong. And I'm definitely not a quitter. So that's one thing about me. So I knew that quitting wasn't an option. So I really did not have a plan B when I went into this. It was, I went in, I didn't just dip my toe in and test the waters. I jumped all in and knew that I had to make this work because I was hell-bent on going back to teach. Like, it's not that I didn't like teaching. I really did like teaching, and I love little kids. I really do, and I love how rewarding it was. But I had already been home with the kids at that point for 2 years, and I was not about to leave them and go back to teach now. So I jumped in and just, went kind of crazy, balls to the wall is what I say right from the beginning, because I really had to make this work. I really did not have any other options. And so I think one of the main things that you need to have in your mind and ready, and I know you hear it all the time, is to have your why. And you don't need to have your why. Does not need to be like Heather's why or my why or anybody on the team's why. It doesn't need to be that you want to quit your full-time job or anything like that. Everyone's why is different for why you get into this. But it needs to be something really powerful and really strong. And you need to have a real emotional connection with it, because that's going to be the one thing that drives you in this business as you work on this every single day. And as things in life get thrown at you and things don't go your way and things are going to happen, bumps in the road are going to come along, you need to have a really clear vision of where you want to go with this. Otherwise, you're going to have a really hard time progressing forward. You're going to be plateaued, and you're going to be hanging out in limbo, and you're not really going to have any place to go, really, with this business if you don't know where you want to take you. So that was something that I had right from the beginning. My why was my kids, to be able to stay at home with them still, so I did not have to go back to work. Also, another thing that I think is really important to making this work, sorry, I have all these hairs back here, it's itchy, is to have the confidence piece, and, I was really lucky. I really was. Like from the second I stepped foot into this and actually started to go and saw what was going to happen, I 100% believed that I was going to do well with this and that it was going to change our lives and I was not going to quit. And I just need to keep doing the daily behaviors every single day, the little ones, and it would pay off in the end. So if you don't have your confidence in check, it's not 100% there. You've probably heard that book, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. You know, you need to read that one. Colleen Eddy, yeah, see, you haven't. Colleen Eddy, recommended that book a while ago. And it really is, like, if you are struggling with confidence at all, like even the slightest bit, you need to read that book and get your confidence 100% in check. Otherwise, when you are talking to people and you're reaching out to them, it doesn't matter if it's through text message, Facebook messaging, in person, whatever it is, people are going to tell that you are wishy-washy and that they're just going to feel like they don't really trust you and that they don't really want to go with you because they're going to be able to sense that in you. So you need to get your confidence piece in check because that really is, I swear, I feel like it's like 95% of it is your confidence in this and your confidence in yourself. So you need to get that. So read that book if you haven't already. If you don't struggle with confidence at all and, you're okay in that area, then The Slight Edge was my favorite book so far that I've read. I really, really love that one. And that one just really helps me with the business. So that's another really good one to read once you get through You Are a Badass, if you haven't already. I'm very persistent and I kind of am like relentless with this business. I really am. From the very beginning, I, was serious about it. I started out working like probably 2.5 hours every single day when I first started. And I don't do any work really during the day at all for Beachbody. I might send an occasional message, here and there, but that's pretty much during their nap time. But usually I use the nap time for, I get my workout in, I take my shower, I, eat my lunch, and the next thing you know, the kids are awake. But I told myself and I made myself a promise that, when I started this business, I was not going to ignore the kids during the day and bury my face in the computer or phone or whatnot, because these times go by so fast and I don't want to look back and have any regrets and, think to myself, I can't believe I gave up my teaching career so I could stay at home with the kids to then really not give them 100% my attention and be, really not present to work on Beachbody. So I do all my work at night. That's when I do it. The kids go to bed at like 8 and that's when I do my work. And I started out doing like probably 2.5 hours a day. And then I stumbled across Scotty Hobbs's Sacrifices video somehow, I don't know how. And that was it. Once I saw that video about making sacrifices and, giving up just like TV and just basically being more serious about this and really understanding and wrapping my head around the fact that this is my own business. I had a really hard time with that. That's when I decided, okay, I'm going to give it my all. I'm just going to have to sacrifice my sleep. I'm just going to whatever. So I started staying up until like 12:30, sometimes 1 o'clock at night. I still do. Every single day I stay up till that time. And it was really hard at the beginning, especially because Kirsten was still waking up at night 2 or 3 times. And then Landon was up for the day at like 5:45 or 6, the latest. So I was getting like very little sleep. And it was hard. But I really, like I said, I kept thinking about them and kept focusing on them. And I was seeing the results. And I was dead serious and really, really serious about this and what it was going to do for us. So I was willing to make that sacrifice. Nick started to see the results. And, within like a month, I was able to stop tutoring. And so he jumped on board immediately and was really supportive about it, which was like a big surprise because he was so against it at the beginning. So he jumped on board and we both discussed that, if we really want to make this work, we're not going to be doing TV at night anymore. You know what? We're going to do 1 date night a week. It's going to be Saturday nights. So still to this day, Saturday night is the only night that I don't work on Beachbody. I still do work for Beachbody during the day because Nick's here so he can watch the kids for a little bit while I get in like 1 or 2 hours. But I work on Beachbody every single day. Saturday night's the only night that is me and Nick's date night. So I was really, really serious. I was really serious about this, as you can see. So I really think that what you need to do when you start out is you really need to ask yourself too and be honest with yourself. Is this going to be something that's going to be more of a hobby for you? Or is this going to be something that's going to be, a legit business for you? Because if you're in this and it's just going to be a hobby for you, then that's fine. But it's going to reward you in ways like a hobby would reward you. So a good way to figure this out, if this is going to be a hobby or, real business for you, like a legit, like 6-figure income business, is to ask yourself, where you are right now in your life, what you're doing for your job. Are you truly, like 100% happy and excited when you wake up every single day to go into work? Are you really? Can you picture yourself, going into your job every single day until you're 65 years old? Like my mom is 67 right now and she's still teaching first grade in the classroom. God bless her. I don't know how she does it. She's going to be done in December of next year. But, ask yourself that. Do you really seriously love it that much? When Monday morning comes, are you like, yes, I can't wait to go into work. It's so exciting. And if the answer is yes, then that is awesome for you, because there's not that many people in the world that can actually say that about their job. And if that's the case for you, then this is going to be more of a hobby for you, and that's fine. That's great. You can use this money that you make, to help, memory making money is what some of the coaches on my team call it, to go on vacations and do things like that with your kids or just for your family that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise, and that's fine. But if you wake up and you're really not 100% happy and you don't really love it and you don't see yourself doing that job day in and day out until you retire, then this seriously is the opportunity for you. It really is. Like, it's so crazy. I really never thought that I'd be sitting here talking like this, but it is the truth. This is really your opportunity right here. But you have to be serious about it, and you need to be motivated, and you need to want more out of life, and you need to just not settle for things anymore. Like, that's kind of like how I was living my life. And I tell everybody this, like when I talk on team calls, I always had a good life. Like, thank God I haven't had anything like really traumatic or like horrible happen. So I, can't speak to stories about stuff like that. And if I didn't do Beachbody, I would look back on my life and I could honestly say that things were, really good. I could say that things were good. I really don't have too many regrets. I lived a good life, I could say. But then, I realized, that's really just settling. Like, just because things are good doesn't mean that you should just keep doing those things. This is your chance to make things awesome, like the best for you and your family. And that's how my thoughts started to change as I did this. I started to realize, oh my gosh, I'm not going to, bother, going back to teaching and, listening to somebody else tell me what to do. Like, I'm going to create the best life possible for me and my family. And that is what I'm starting to do for the family. And don't get me wrong, I liked teaching. Did I love it? No, I did not love it. I, honest to God, never loved it. I loved the kids. I loved how rewarding it was. I loved how excited they were every single day, like to see me and to learn. And I loved that piece, but I hated all the other stuff that came along with it. You know what I mean? It's just, whatever. It just was not, I didn't love it. This, I absolutely love. I'm not sick of it. And I've been doing it now every single day for an entire year. And that's how you want to feel about whatever it is that you do. You want to be truly excited about it. Let me just check over my notes here real quick. So much to do. And so when I started reaching out to people, that's what I did. I spent all my time just reaching out and connecting to people. I didn't really spend too much time doing anything else. It was all just talking to people. And I signed everybody up as discount coaches because I could sign people up as customers. And sure, I'd get that commission every single month from them when they, order their Shakeology and it ships out. But I just don't feel comfortable doing that. Honestly, like if I feel like I can save somebody 25%, on their Shakeology, if they love it, then I want to be able to do that, because I know if I was buying something, I'd want to be able to get the best deal possible. And honestly, guys, I've had a lot of people actually switch to me as their coach because their previous coach, who they didn't really know, was just the one that they got assigned to from the website, would, just charge them the full price as a customer. And then when they heard that they could save 25%, they really appreciated that. And so I've had a lot of people come to me for that. So I do it solely. The very first reason is to help them out, to try to save them money. The second reason is, you want to try to build a team. You want to build a team. That's what this whole thing is about. And I feel like coaches have a really hard time wrapping their brain around that at first. Like, it's not just about challenge packs being sold to people and running challenge groups and helping people get started out on their health and fitness journey. It is, that's a big piece to it. But an even bigger piece is you guys wanting to grow your own team. That's what the big picture is, the long-term vision. And as much as, Heather and I would love to keep having you guys on our team calls every week or however often you have them, we want nothing more than to have you guys go off and form your own big teams and do your own team calls, and then have your coaches do the same thing. And the only way that's going to happen is if you guys are talking to people about wanting to join you and join forces with you to try to help people. You know, this whole business is about trying to help as many people as possible, and you can't do it yourself. So the only way to do that is to bring on people who are like you, who want to try to change other people's lives. So I sign everybody up anyways as discount coaches right off the bat, because whether or not they want to work the business or not, I do it to save them money. I do it in hopes that they will join the challenge group and they will love the results and love what it's all about and convert to an active coach, which I have had probably a good 5 people do that over the past few months. That's where I've gotten some of my active coaches from my challenges. And I also do it because, like I said, if you want to be able to build a team, you know, customers aren't really going to do that to you. It's going to make you that initial money, but this is about like growing big down the road and being able to earn that residual income and, you know, off of the cycle bonus money. So you can grow it to a point where, you know, you don't really need to work so hard, and all of a sudden, you know, you'll look in your bank account on Thursday and you'll have like $1,000 there. Like that's what happened, guys, when I went to the Beachbody Success Club trip. I didn't do one thing for Beachbody that week because I just was focusing on the vacation. But when I got paid that week, it was like $1,000, and that was all off of team cycle bonus money. And that's what can happen if you guys grow your team over time. This is all about momentum, though. You can't work like a day and then say you're busy and I'll catch up on the weekend. You know, if you don't do any work for like a couple days or a week, it's going to take you like another week or 2 to catch up and get the ball rolling again. So that's why even if you have a little bit of time every day, I always tell my coaches that you need to spend that time reaching out and inviting people to your challenges or inviting people to learn about the coaching opportunity. You need to do that every single day. I'm sorry, I'm just checking my notes here. There's so much on here. Hold on. Let me see here. Oh yeah, a couple more things here. So another thing that's really important, when you go to reach out to people, if you're worrying that you are bothering people, you need to just seriously take that thought and throw it out the window as fast as possible, because you are not bothering people. I can't tell you seriously how many people have said how thankful they are that I have reached out to them. You can't think that you're bothering people or you're annoying people. You're really not, honestly. Like the majority of the world needs help, and they need your help, and that's where you come in. And so there are so many people just sitting around, you know, waiting for you to reach out to them to help them, because they don't know where to start or what to do. And so they're waiting for you to reach out to them and try to help them reach their health and fitness goals. So don't stress out. You know, as you do this, it'll become easier and easier each time you do it. And I'm telling you, you know, you're going to get the occasional jerk once in a blue moon. You know, I've probably only had like 5 jerks in the past year. But the majority of the time, they're all so thankful, and they like will send you messages all the time with thank you so much for changing my life. I haven't been able to fit back into these pants in like 2 years, or I never thought I'd be able to lose this baby weight and all that. So it really is so rewarding. So you need to think like that. I'm telling you right now, the success with this business, like I said, it is all in your mind. You know, at first I didn't do personal development. Heather would say read books and all this other stuff, and I was like, I know. I don't have time to read. Honestly, like that's what I said. You know, and I was like, I don't have time to read. Like, you kidding me? Like, I'm going to bed at like 12:30 at night. I'm not going to read. And then I slowly realized that, you know, if I wanted to be a really good leader and grow and help my team grow, that I needed to do that. So you really do have to start and just do like 10 minutes a day. And I do a lot of the audio books because that's easier for me now, and that's what fits into my schedule. But it's not just doing the personal development, it's also applying it. So you need to make sure that you're not just reading it, you know, and then just letting it kind of go in one ear and out the other. Like, oh, that sounds good. That's a great thought. You need to read it and like take it all in and absorb it, and then actually apply it. And just realize that this is your own business. Like I said from the beginning, I had a really hard time wrapping my brain around that. But it is, you know, don't sit around and wait for Heather or your upline coach or whoever to tell you what you should do next, because that's not going to happen, you know, because this isn't like a job. You don't have a boss. You are your boss. And so what you get out of this business and whatever happens is a direct reflection on what you do with it and the amount of time that you spend into it. So I'm not special. I am not any different than any of you. Just like the top coaches in the company, guys, they're no better than any of you at all. They are just people that had an extremely clear vision of where they wanted to go with this. They had a long-term vision, so they were patient, and they did little behaviors every single day, consistency over time, and were persistent with it, and that was it. And they stuck with it. So if you guys can do that, you'll see the same success too. And like I said, you don't need to have to be in this to want to quit your job or anything like that. And you can grow it as fast or as slow as you want, but you do need to be doing a little bit every single day, and you need to start to shift your focus to growing your own team, not just numbers on the Success Club board. When I first started out, I was hitting like Success Club 40 and doing crazy numbers like that. And that was great the first few months, but now my focus is all about quality, not quantity. And at the beginning, it is important to get those discount coaches on so you can build up your organization. You want to be able to have a buffer, so if you're moving up in rank and people quit, you'll have extra people there so that you'll be able to replace that so you won't drop out of rank. I've had a lot of coaches on my team, that's what happens. They get to a certain rank and then they don't keep up with it, or they think, oh yeah, I made it to diamond, this is awesome. And then they stop, like that's the end of the road. And then the next week they lose it. It's like, what are you doing? But that's everybody's own business. They do what they want, but you need to always be looking a step ahead of that. You can't, once you reach one goal, you can't stop. You need to be looking to the next goal and how are you going to get there and what actions you're going to take to get there. And so I think that's one of the things that I've continued to do. I just continue to keep looking to where I want to be. Just really don't look around at anybody else around you. That can be really hard. Like, you really just have to be your own person with this, and you can get so wrapped up in checking like everybody else's like statuses and the other coaches like posts and what they're doing, and then it's like, then you start to ask yourself, should I write this? Should I not write this? Like, just kind of do your own thing and be your own person, and then you're just going to attract people to you that are just like you over time. But you have to do it every single day. And I think that's pretty much it. Did I miss anything, Heather?
I'm unmuting myself. Yeah, that was so great, Kathi. Thank you so much. I just want to add to that, and kind of going off everything that Kathi's saying, is that one of the most amazing things that Kathi did in the beginning, like right away, I think I wrote in the chat, I don't know how many of you checked that. Like I said, basically in the beginning, she really wasn't even using Facebook. And as a coach, I'm like, what the hell, Kathi? Start posting. Like, what are you doing? Like, you need to do these behaviors. And what I didn't know is she was just messaging people personally and building these relationships and starting these conversations and getting people excited and still inviting them to a challenge group. She was just doing it in her own way. And to be honest, this whole business is built around numbers and building relationships. So talking to as many people as you can, building those relationships, getting people to have that trust in you, and inviting them. And to be honest, not everyone's going to like your post, comment on it. It took months for me to get any kind of movement on my post because people don't feel comfortable putting it out there. Like, I'm sure some of you guys are experiencing this if you're 4 or 5, 6 months into the company, where people will still not like your post, but then they'll reach out to you and say, oh, I've been watching your post. You've inspired me. Can I learn more? And you're like, I know when this first started happening to me, I was like, that's weird because I've never liked my post. So why are they reaching, but it's like some people just won't feel comfortable putting themselves out there. And the other thing Kathi did that was really great too, and again, she came on when I was only 2 months into the business, so I was still learning how to be a leader too. And one of the things she really did that I think a lot of you guys should think more about is using all the resources that are available to you with Beachbody. She started reaching out to top coaches. She started doing any kind of training that she could find. She used the online office to the fullest. She was being resourceful. And again, she had a huge why that was driving her in order to basically, like she said, she didn't have time to fuck around. Like, she was in this. She was excited about it. She needed to succeed. So she really took it upon herself to go and find the information she needed. Don't get me wrong. She was messaging me every day too, and I was helping her in any way that I can. But she was going above and beyond. And that's why she was so successful so quickly, because she educated herself. She understood the business inside and out. Obviously, once her husband got involved, he helped too, and that was great. And if, you know, you can get your spouse involved and help you with maybe the parts of the business that, you know, you don't feel strongly in, whether it's the income and numbers or whatever it is, you know, that will be a benefit to you. But regardless, this is something you can do on your own. And, you know, don't, as much as I want to be your guys' leader and I'm here to help you, don't forget about everything else that you have available to you. If there's another coach that you feel like you connect to, don't feel like you can't reach out to them and ask for their advice. I know a lot of you, you know, can relate to Kathy's story a lot because she's a teacher, because she's a mom. You know, I'm neither of those things. So although I can be your leader and I can help you and I can guide you and, you know, give you the tools you need to succeed, if you feel like you get inspired in a different way, don't feel like you guys can't utilize that. And I know, I mean, some top leaders are busier than others and they take a while to get back to you, but I know, you know, Scotty Hobbs is in the top 10 and Kathi has told me that they've had conversations and he's been really helpful, which is pretty amazing. So, you know, like customers, don't ever feel like you're bothering a customer and don't ever feel like you're bothering a coach. I mean, reach out to people. The worst they're going to do is not get back to you and then you just move on. You know, and I agree with Kathi. Confidence is key. Having confidence and believing in this business, we've talked about this a lot, and believing in yourself, honestly, is the way to be successful in this business. Because if someone senses that you don't believe, or that, you know, you don't really believe in the products, you don't really believe in the opportunity, why would they? So, you know, Kathi having that confidence in the beginning, you know, and having the confidence to reach out to people, not be afraid to ask for information and to use all the resources to her went a long way, I think.
Yeah, you said a couple of things that made me trigger a couple more things. You want me to share it?
Yeah.
I had so much stuff. It's like so hard to remember everything I want to say. And plus I get so much. Yeah, and I just feel like I could talk for 3 hours all night long about this. And then I get so excited. So it sounds like I have ADHD, but I really don't.
Did you take your E&E? Is that why?
Huh?
Did you take E&E?
No, I didn't. I did that though for one team call and I sounded like a spaz and I like have enough energy as it is. So I laid off that for this call. So you guys are lucky. But no, when Heather was talking, it just made me bring up a couple other things that I think are just important too. You know, from the beginning, you guys should be adding new friends every single day. And honestly, when I hear people say, I ran out of people, it's like, no, that is, guys, that's impossible to run out of people. Honestly, I tell myself that all the time. Like Nick will be like, aren't you worried you're going to run out of people? I'm like, run out of people? Are you kidding me? This is Facebook. There's like so many people on here. And so one thing that I really did, like from the beginning, because when I started, guys, I only had 320 friends, all right? And I was able to get to Diamond in 11 days, okay, with just my friends on there, all right? And I literally probably messaged every single person on my Facebook friend list in like the first 2 weeks. I got through them all. But one of the things that, you know, you need to do is you need to be adding at least 3 to 5 new friends to your list every single day. So I just simply I click one of my friends' names, I look through their friends, and if we have like 8 or more mutual friends, then I'll send them a friend request. You know, you want to be careful that there's no like other Beachbody coaches and mutual friends in common with you, like from like whatever Drop a Cookie or whatever teams we're part of, because then it's like kind of useless at that point. But you want to make sure that you're adding them every single day and then keep track of them. So one thing that I do is I have a 5-subject notebook. So I need to see everything written down. And I have one whole section that I title like friend request accepted. So when friends accept me, I write their name down with the date. And then what I do is I make a conscious effort at that point then to go to their walls and like their posts that they're posting up or to comment on something. So that way I'm starting to build a relationship with them, so that they're starting to get to know me a little bit, and then they're seeing what I'm posting on Facebook. So that way when I do reach out to them about like a challenge group or whatever, the business opportunity, they're not like, who the heck is this person? And so I do that all the time. So you want to keep track of the people that accept your friend request, because otherwise if you don't, it's going to be really hard to keep scrolling through all your friends. That's what I did at the beginning. I kept scrolling through all my friends to find the new ones, and it was like a total cluster. So I started writing them down, and it's helped so much more. So make sure that you're doing that. And, did you have something to say, Heather?
Nope, I'm fine.
Okay. And then, yeah, like I didn't really make any posts really at the beginning. Like it was all through, actually, even to this day, most of my recruiting, it all goes down in private messaging to people. And I don't just send like 3 invites to people, guys. When they say invite, I mean, I invite like 30 to 40 people a day. I can't do that many at this point now because my team is growing so fast that I'm spending a lot of time now training them and talking to them and having business opportunity calls and things like that. But at the beginning, I was literally inviting 30 plus people, like almost every single day. Ask for referrals from people that you sign up. That really helps too. You can ask for referrals. Every friend you sign up or whoever you sign up, always ask them if they have friends that they would like to do this with them. That helps a lot. And then when you do post, it is true, like a lot of times you won't get anybody who will like it, but believe me, people are watching your every single move. You know, they're watching you, and there will come a time when they're ready and they're going to want to reach out to you because they're going to be familiar with you and they're going to know what you're doing, what you're all about. And that's why even if you message people, if you don't hear back from them, like you're planting seeds to all these people. And even if they say no right off the bat, you know, it really just doesn't mean like no forever. It really just means like it's just not a really good time for me. And it might be 4, 5, 6, 7 months down the road when they're ready. But if they hear from you, you know, you're going to be the person that they reach out to when they do finally decide that they want to do something to help their health. Another thing too is when people say no to me, I don't just leave it at no. I always find out why they say no. So I always ask them, like, you know, if you don't mind me asking, what makes you say no? Is it, you know, a time concern? Is it a motivational issue? Is it a money concern? I might be able to help you, you know? And I go from there based on what they say. So always find out, you know, why they say no. Because if they say that it's a money concern, then you can talk to them about how if they bring on a couple friends, it can help offset their cost and things like that. Or it's a great time to talk about the business opportunity and actually coaching. You know, they could look into coaching part-time. So, you know, never just leave it at no. And then when they do say no, make sure to keep in connection with them. Like I keep in connection with everybody. I don't talk about Beachbody with them all the time. Like even just checking in and finding out how they're doing, or if they made a post, make a comment and send them a message like, oh, I saw the flowers that you got from your friend. That was so nice, blah, 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 just to start small talk. So I do that all the time. That's a good thing too, to do. Another thing too is with the clear vision, you know, you guys should make a vision board. You totally should. Like you really should just sit down one day and think about really where you want to be in like a year from now or even 2 years from now, and just make it be crazy out of control. Like really big goals, you know, and just print out pictures and print out motivational words and put it up and have it hanging up where you look at it all the time, because that's what's going to drive you. Like I have really big goals for this, you know, and by the end of next summer, like I want to have, you know, Nick retired from his job and we want to be able to move to Hawaii in like 2 years from now. And I want to be able to bring my parents with us for a year or two, you know, because I want to be able to give back to them for all the years that they always put me and my brother and sister first. They sacrificed so much. Now I want to be able to give back to them. So that's become a huge part of my why as well. But just put it on there, whatever it is, like all these things that you think you've never been able to do and like want to do, like you can make it happen, guys. Like seriously. And the way I look at it is if I have to bust my ass for 3-4 years to have the rest of my life have complete financial freedom, and not even just the financial piece, just being able to create the time to be able to spend with my family and my husband and friends and making memories that are going to last a lifetime, I am willing to do that. You know what I mean? I'm willing to put in that short amount of time, because when you think about it, I mean, 4 years, 5 years, however long it takes you, that's nothing like compared to the whole rest of your life that you have. And I'll do that any day versus going in and working a freaking 9-to-5 job, you know, for somebody else, making their dreams come true, like taking control. And trust me, guys, I was not like this growing up. I was never a leader. Anybody that knows me from when I was younger, I was never a leader. I hated speaking in front of people. So like me talking on calls like this, my parents were like, whoa, this is crazy, Kathi. It's like some alien came down and like took you and like did something to you and like brought you back here. Because this was not me. Like honestly, I would be sitting in class all the time, my head down, face bright red, never would raise my hand to ask if I didn't understand it, which is why I basically failed in math up until like high school. I was horrible at it, no confidence in that at all. And I never ever was a leader. Like I pretty much, it wasn't like I was a follower, but I definitely was that person who's kind of just like sitting back in the background, you know, just kind of bumping along the road, kind of doing what you're supposed to do. And that was it. So you don't have to have like all these like leadership qualities right off the bat. these are all things that you can change about yourself and help grow and make yourself be better at. And that's how my vision has changed, and my thinking has totally changed since doing this. Like, it's totally different than what it was a year ago when I first signed up. It really is all about like making yourself into like the best version of yourself, which I thought honestly was like a crock of crap when I first signed up. I'm like, the best version of you. I was like, what? Like, I really did. I thought it was like, I don't know. I thought it was just like something that like the Beachbody coaches said, like, be yourself the best version you can be. I'm like, okay. And then as you do it and you get into it, you slowly start to realize, oh my gosh, like, this is so much more than just like your team and all that. I mean, you really do. Your thinking changes. You become a better person. Like, wow, it's really crazy, guys. So I hope that you stick it out for a year. And just like keep those connections going with the people, and really just believe in yourself, and just don't settle for anything in life. Like, that's what I was doing before. Like I said, I had a good life, and I was probably going to go back to teaching and all that. But no, like, guys, make this the best life possible for you and your family. You only have one life. And this is like this is it right here. This is your one chance to be able to make it the best. So give it your all and stick with it in a long-term vision. Sorry, I know I blabbed forever. I mean, I could go on and on, guys.
This is so great. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for Kathi? I want you guys to speak up and have a chance to, either say thank you or ask questions or whatever you want to do.
Hi, Kathi. It's Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay.
I just want to say thank you, and I'm like in awe of your energy.
I second that.
I have twin babies and a 4-year-old, and I feel like I just don't sleep. And I know that, you can relate. And so I'm like in awe of your energy. I'm like sitting here like this, so perky and happy. And I'm like, oh, can I have some?
I'm telling you, it's really crazy, because I'm not going to lie. I mean, at the end of the day, you know what it's like with the kids, and it is not glamorous by any means to be a stay-at-home mom and everything. It is so freaking hard, because you have the twins and another one, and it's like, it is hard work. And at the end of the day, when it ends, there's nothing more that I want to do than to just flop on the couch and be like, I'm going to bed. But then something crazy happens in my brain where I get this like second wind. Like, it's crazy. Even Nick says it's like crazy. You get this like second wind. And I really do have to force myself to go to sleep at night and turn in, because I probably only get like, I don't know, maybe 5 hours of sleep a night, but I just feel like, like I said, my vision and what I really want out of this now is like so powerful that like, I'm just willing to just make it work. So I feel like
it drives you. Yeah,
exactly. It just keeps driving me through it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You're very motivational and inspiring. So.
Oh, you're welcome. You're doing great too.
Yeah, on that note, guys, like I think one of the things, like, some of you are struggling with in my conversations is seeing the light before you're there. Like, I know like some of you are just like, oh, I feel uncomfortable talking about the coach opportunity because I'm not seeing these big numbers yet. And like, Kathi, I don't know if you could, like, basically Kathy's saying like, she saw that light. She saw where she could take this business before she got there. Like, you have to see the long-term vision. You have to set big, scary goals for yourself and understand you're not there yet, but you need to believe that this opportunity can get you. And it absolutely can. And I'm here to tell you that. Kathi here is to tell you that. There's thousands of other coaches that can tell you that this business can absolutely be, the vehicle in order to get you there, but you have to believe that. And you have to believe it now, even before you're there.
Yeah, and like another thing too, guys, is honestly like what really, like I said, I was able to get the diamond in 11 days, and it's not just a diamond rank, okay? Believe me, that's just a stepping stone of where this business can start to become really serious for you, It wasn't the diamond rank that got me excited. What got me excited was when I did become a diamond, I was able to be part of all those leader pages. And guys, this is why you need to hit this rank, because that's when it becomes real. This is where you get to be added to all these leader pages, and you get to see legit numbers. And for Nick, that is what really did it for him. And for me too. Like, I was like, wow, if these people can do it, like, I can do it too. So, I mean, you gotta get there just for that reason, because you're not gonna see any of those numbers and stuff like that and like the team pages that you're in now. Like, you have to be in the leaders pages to like really see that from like all the other people in the company. And if you see their growth and you see that they started out, guys, just like you, with 0 people making 0 income. And now they've been doing this for 2 years, 2.5 years, 4 years. and you can see where they are. And honestly, the only way it's not going to work for you is if you quit, and that's it. But if you stick with it every single day, and I'm not talking, you don't need to do crazy hours, like, 4 or 5 hours a day, like I'm doing at night, it can take you a little bit longer. That's fine. But you need to be doing something every single day. And you can't get discouraged, because you know what, guys, like, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to happen in this business that's going to discourage you, okay? One of my top leaders that I had right from the beginning, she was a good friend from college. She was my success partner. She was my first diamond on my team. She signed up 5 days after me. She just quit like 3 weeks ago or something like that, or a month ago. And, and it's like, at first, I was a little bit upset, but then I realized, you can't force people to do this. I can't want this for you guys more than you want it for yourself. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, your coach can't want it more for you than you want it. Like, we want it bad for you. Trust me, we do. But it also can't be forced. Like, you have to want it just as bad as we want it for you. And so it was almost like a weight was lifted off my shoulder, actually, when she kind of stepped away, because I felt like I was kind of like pushing her up this hill for like 4 months. But that's going to happen. People are going to come. They're going to stick on for 6 months. They're going to stick on for a year. They're going to become diamonds. They might even be 1-star, 2-star diamonds, and then decide they don't want to do it. And that's okay, because it's just not their thing, And that's why you got to keep recruiting. You can never put all your eggs in one basket, because you don't know how long people are going to stick around for. You have to always, always be trying to find new people to join your team.
Absolutely. And just hinting on that too. Like Kathy's saying, the further you get in this business, the more support you gain too. Like tomorrow I have a meeting, a personal one-on-one meeting with someone from corporate, because I'm now a 4-star diamond. So when you hit 2-star diamond, you gain the support, like more support from Beachbody in order to be successful. So, and really anyone can become a 2-star diamond at least within the first year. So, most coaches will tell you, get over that first year hump, and that's when shit really starts like happening. That's when your business really starts exploding. For Kathi, it's happened a lot sooner. But again, it can happen sooner for you, but I would say like the ultimate goal is to get through that first year, and then you'll really be seeing a drastic change in your business, because that's most likely when your team has grown at that point, you're doing really well. You see the light and really understand where this opportunity can bring you. You've gotten into momentum of how you can work this business into your life. Obviously, that's constantly always changing, but we really want you guys, and like Kathy's saying, we can't want this for you more than you want it for yourself, but we want you guys to understand really the big picture and what this business can do for you, and what Beachbody really is. Like, if you guys haven't been to Summit yet and you haven't been to an event, like, it's hard to kind of explain to you guys how amazing of a company this really is that you're working for. Like, yeah, you're running your own business, but you're supporting and behind this amazing company, and they want you to succeed. They want to help you. They want to see like your family doing amazing things and having this personal and financial freedom. Like, so that's something to be proud of too, and be excited about, and to want to be a part of. Like, this community is one of the most amazing things that you get with it. And I know from my personal experience, I sometimes take that for granted, but don't allow yourself to. My coach always tells me, Heather, you work so independently. Like, I don't utilize things as much as Kathi does. And, I know I've hurt myself throughout my business. So I'm here to try to inspire you guys to not do what I've done and do more of what Kathi does. And utilize that community and get excited about it and understand, like, yeah, you're running your own business, and that's something you need to own and feel strongly about and excited about, but you do have support. So, those two things do go together, and always remember that.
Yeah, wait, I was going to say one thing too, when you brought up the summit and everything like that. I just wanted to say, the whole thing with the summit too, this is like, you have to really like take a step back and like think for a second here, that if you're trying to prove to people on Facebook that you're serious about this business, like really serious about this business, not just like, I'm going to say I'm serious, but I'm not really following through with all the action serious, like 100% all in serious, and people are watching you, if you're not making it a priority to get to something like that, people are watching that, and they're going to be seeing like all the videos and all these things from everybody else, going there. Really should try to make an effort, to get there if you're not going to be there, because it's true. You want to show to people that you're serious about this business, but yet you're not going to the biggest event that Beachbody has to offer. I don't know, it's kind of sending a conflicting message, I feel like, to people, you know, if you're trying to recruit and then they see that. So, I mean, I've never been before, and I hear all the other coaches who have been said that, I mean, this is it. Like, this is like the big thing, and no one can bottle that up and bring that home and present it to you the way it's going to be if you're there. And people who go to that, like all the other coaches say, I mean, like Heather went to it too last year, so she knows anybody who goes to that, I mean, your business is going to have like exponential growth, like following that, because you have all the information and training that you're going to get out of that. So if you're not getting there, I mean, you should find a way. I mean, I have room in my room, like my other coach, I think, has room in hers. I mean, seriously, people have room, and make it happen.
Yeah, I think that's one of like the most difficult things. And Kathi has a good point, because every time I go to an event, I say to my coach, Elizabeth Hartke, which I know all of you guys know, and I say to her, I say, I wish someone could bottle up like that excitement and energy and just feed it to me every day, because Kathi was saying, when you're on these trips, like I was in Cancun too, and like I was messaging a few people here and there, but all of this business just flies in because people are just excited what you're doing. They see it. Like Kathi said, like for me, like Jenny got off the call, but Kathi came on right after Summit. Jenny came on right after Summit. Like coaches that I had been talking to for months, trying to convince them that this business was something they needed to be a part of. And they saw my videos from Summit, and I'm busy. I'm not even, posting it while I was posting, but I'm not like messaging people anymore. And then you just have people messaging you out of the blue, and you're like, this shit is real. Like it just happens. Like like people feel that energy and they get so excited about it. Even when I went to my coach's diamond retreat, the leadership retreat up north earlier this year, and that wasn't even a huge Beachbody event, but I made a video outside and my passion showed through. And, I ask myself all the time, how do I continue to keep that passion every day? It's so easy to get busy with your everyday life and, to kind of take a step back, and I'm so busy, and what am I going to post today? I don't know if it's going to be meaningful. It's like Kathi was saying, like, I know I spend time too looking at other people's posts and scrolling through the news feed. It's like, to try to step away from that and focus on you and focus on like your goals and what you see and what did you do today that you think might inspire someone and get them excited, and try to relive that passion every day that's going to excite you. Like I always tell, like I know I've told like some of you guys when I've had one-on-one calls with you, like when I'm having really difficult moments in my business and I feel like my posts are shit, I take a step back and I look at my posts and I'm like, would that inspire me? If I wasn't a coach and I went to my news feed today, would I inspire myself to sign up as a coach? And if the answer is no, then I do something differently. So that's something like, that's a technique that you guys can use too, to kind of, or ask a best friend, ask someone or your husband or someone that won't lie to you. Kathi knows my boyfriend very well. They grew up together, and Matt is ruthless. Like he'll be like, why the hell did you do that? Or you should be doing this differently. So, embrace that kind of stuff. Sometimes I get pissed at him and then I take a step back and I'm like, you don't know this business. I'm running this business. And then I take a step back and I realize, you know what? He's right. Like I should have done that differently, or I could be doing this differently, or I could be stepping out as a leader in a different way. And, take those opportunities again to not only learn from anyone in the Beachbody community, but someone else in your life that is watching what you're doing and helping you. Another example is one of my best friends who struggled to understand the business in the beginning and still, doesn't completely understand it, but supports me now, said to me when we moved to London, all I see is like Coach Heather. Like you don't post any more about your personal life, like just like vomit Beachbody all over the place. Like at least mix a combination of that into it. And I know Lindsay has brought this to my attention too. And it's like, those are things that you need. Like those are things you should take into consideration. And again, of course, in the beginning, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, no, like my posts are great. Like I'm inspiring people. And then you take a step back and you're like, wow, you're right. I'm not a mom yet, so I can't use my kids to, inspire people and get people excited. And I know that you guys aren't using them. You're just like happy about your kids. But so like for me, it's like, okay, well, what are my passions? Travel and, having this freedom and doing these things. And, I need to do more of that. So, definitely take into consideration what other people are saying and don't get offended, but think about it. Take a step back, put yourself in their shoes, look at your page and think to yourself, Are they right? Is there something that I could be doing different in order to draw people to me? And I know some of you guys overanalyze your brand and you don't really know, like, oh, what is my brand? And, you know, I don't think it has to be so particular. I think a lot of you guys get stuck on that because you're trying to aim at the specific audience. And, you know, I don't think Kathi or I really honestly do that. And we're still really successful in this business. I mean, obviously moms are going to be drawn to her, or teachers or whatever that can relate to her story. But it doesn't mean that she doesn't talk to people that aren't moms. You know, it's like, I don't think you need to, you know, just exclude anyone that maybe would come to you for advice or whatever. I guess if that's, I don't know if Kathi, you agree on that, but, you know, I think your brand is always growing and evolving. Like it will change. You know, once I become a mom, obviously my market will probably be slightly different and my post will be different. You know, my idea of what I feel like my brand is living in balance and having this freedom because, you know, I am living here and I have this opportunity and I'm not the girl with 6-pack abs. You know, I like food. I drink alcohol every once in a while. Like I still live my life. I mean, for what I do, I feel like I look good. And that's how I coach people. I tell people, have a freaking glass of wine if you want to have a glass of wine. Like I'm not going to tell you not to do those things. So, you know, for me, that's how I feel like I coach. I don't know if that's my brand, but that's kind of what I promote. So, I mean, think about those things and connect with it, but don't get so stuck on your brand and who you are. Just try to inspire people.
Yeah, and then one last thing too before I let you guys go. But about the target audience and everything, one tip that I learned when I was at the leadership conference in California was that Melanie Mitchell was actually talking about this, and it was like a really good exercise that she did. So I do this too with like my coaches on my team and stuff, but she said to sit down and just really think about the type of person that you would want to help or the type of person that you would want to see be on your team and join your team, you know, and write them all down. So for me, I mean, most of them, they're moms, you know, they have like little kids at home, they're teachers, maybe they're like running, things like that. And so make a list of all these different qualities. And then what you'll start to realize is that actually the person that you're starting to describe is like yourself, pretty much. You're describing people like you. So, I mean, if like you were to look at all of my coaches on my team who are all active, they're all pretty much all like me. They're all teachers, or I have a couple nurses. A couple of them are stay-at-home moms. Most of them are working moms, but we're all pretty similar. And so one of the things that you can do is when you're sitting down to write your post, be thinking about that person, you know, what that person would really want to hear. You know, if that person was sitting with you in your living room on your couch and you were going to be talking to them, what would you say? Like, how would you say it? And then write it. You know, because you want to, what you post is going to attract that. So you want to attract the people like you to join your team, you know? And so that's one exercise that she had given for a tip. And so, I don't know, I felt like that really helped me out back then. And I know it's helped out a lot of my coaches too. So it's another good tip to try to help target people that are just like you. You know, don't try to be like everybody else and, you know, go after all different kinds of people. I feel like, you know, I said, try to focus on just, you know, people like you. It's going to be different for everybody on the team, you know, but just focus on people who are like you.
All right. I think I won't take up too much more of your time. Thank you so much, guys, for calling in. I really appreciate it. Suzanne, did you have any questions, or are you good? Or okay. Well, I hope everyone has a good night, and I will post the recording in the team page too. And thank you again, Kathi. I really, really appreciate your time. I know it's a tough time of the night, so.
No, thank you guys so much. I'm glad I was able to talk to you. I hope you could take away a little bit of helpful information there. But good luck with everything. You guys are doing awesome.
All right. I'll talk to you soon, hon.
Thanks, Heather. Bye, guys.
Bye.